Listen here with full attention. Turn everything off. Close the other tabs. Put your phone on silent. Because in the next 30 seconds, I will reveal a single word in Hebrew, a word so ancient, so powerful, that the great Kabbalists said it alone is capable of completely reprogramming your financial frequency. One word, before each meal, every day. And your relationship with money will never be the same. You eat 3 times a day: breakfast, lunch, dinner. That's over 1,000 meals a year. And in each of those 1,000 times, there is a spiritual portal opening. A portal that connects the physical world to the world of Shefa, of divine abundance. This portal stays open for just a few seconds, exactly at the moment before the first bite. And if you don't say the right word at that moment, the portal closes, and you eat only food, only matter. But if you say the word with kavanah, with true intention, something extraordinary happens. You are not just feeding the body. You are activating a spiritual frequency that attracts wealth, protection, and abundance for the coming hours of your life. The ancient rabbis knew this, but few dared to reveal it openly. It was knowledge passed down only among masters and chosen disciples. Today, I will unveil this secret to you. And I'm not talking about a long, complicated prayer that's hard to memorize. I'm talking about a single word, 7 letters in Hebrew, 3 seconds to pronounce. And it can unlock the flow of prosperity in up to 7 days. My grandfather Moshe, may his memory be a blessing, arrived in Brazil in 1934 from Warsaw. He was the son of a Kabbalah scholar, a man who spent 14 hours a day immersed in the Zohar. My grandfather did not inherit his father's library. He did not inherit gold or land. He inherited only one instruction, a single instruction that his father gave him at the port before the farewell, the last time they saw each other in life. His father held his face with both hands and said, "Moshe, wherever you are in the world, no matter how difficult it gets, never eat without first saying, Baruch. That word will nourish much more than your body." My grandfather obeyed for the rest of his life. 61 years in Brazil, 3 meals a day, he said Baruch more than 66,000 times before eating. And from an immigrant with nothing, he built a life of abundance that sustains the family to this day. First, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. In a few minutes, I will teach you the exact pronunciation and the complete ritual for you to start today. Second, write in the comments, Baruch, I activate the frequency of wealth. This statement is not just a comment, it is a sacred intention. In this video, you will discover 3 things. First, what is the Hebrew word that serves as a master key for prosperity, and why it should be said specifically before meals? Second, what happens on the spiritual plane every time you eat without a blessing, and why this blocks the Shefa in ways you can't even imagine? Third, the complete ritual, step by step, to transform every meal into a portal of abundance. Why most waste 1,000 opportunities a year. Think with me. How many meals have you had in your life? If you are 40 years old, that's over 43,000 meals. If you are 50, almost 55,000. Now, answer honestly. How many of those meals did you stop, even for 3 seconds, and say a blessing before eating? A conscious intention. A word of gratitude directed to the Creator. Most people respond, almost none. And there are tens of thousands of portals that have opened and closed without anything passing through. And then the person complains that they work, and the money doesn't stretch. That they strive and can't prosper. That it seems there is an invisible ceiling that doesn't let them rise. What if that ceiling is made of all the meals you ate without awareness? What if every bite without a blessing has added a little brick to that invisible wall between you and abundance? In Kabbalah, food is not just matter. Food contains nitzotzot, sparks of divine light. Kabbalists teach that when God created the world, sparks of sacred light spread throughout creation. And these sparks are hidden within foods. When you eat with a blessing, with kavanah, these sparks are elevated. They rise from the material level to the spiritual level. And as they rise, they release shefa, divine abundance, back into your life. It is a sacred cycle. You bless, elevate, and receive back multiplied. But when you eat without a blessing, the sparks remain trapped. They are not elevated. And instead of generating shefa, they generate what Kabbalists call kelipah, a shell of dense energy that surrounds the person and blocks prosperity. The key word in all of this is Baruch. In Hebrew, Baruch means blessed. But the root of the word is B-R-K, which also forms the word berecha, meaning pool or spring. When you say Baruch, you are literally opening a source of abundance. The Talmud states very clearly, whoever enjoys this world without making a blessing is as if they were stealing from the Holy One. Blessed be He. Every food is a divine gift, and whoever receives a gift without giving thanks interrupts the flow of future gifts. When my grandfather arrived in Brazil, he lived in a boarding house on Rua da Graça in São Paulo. He shared a room with 3 other immigrants, all Jewish, all fleeing, all with nothing. The 4 of them found work as peddlers, street vendors. The money barely covered food. But there was a difference between my grandfather and the other 3. Every meal, even when it was just a piece of dry bread with water, my grandfather would stop, close his eyes, and say, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Blessed are you, eternal our God, King of the universe, who brings forth bread from the earth. The other 3 would say, Moses, why this? God is not listening to us. My grandfather would reply, precisely because I am hungry that I need to bless. Because the blessing is not gratitude for what I have. It is the key to what is to come. In 2 years, my grandfather was no longer a peddler. He had a small fabric shop. In 5 years, he had 2 employees. In 10 years, a small network in Bras that supported the family for decades. The other 3? They never prospered. The difference? 1 word. Baruch. Before every meal, every day, without exception. The word Baruch is composed of 3 Hebrew letters, Beit, Resh, Kaf. Each letter, in Kabbalah, carries a specific energy. Beit is the letter of the house, of home, of shelter. It represents the berakah, the blessing that manifests in the material world. Resh is the letter of the head, of thought, of consciousness. It represents the spiritual vision that sees beyond the visible. Kaf is the letter of the palm of the hand. It represents the capacity to receive. It is the open hand that accepts the divine gift. When you put the 3 together, Beit, Resh, Kaf, you are saying, I open my house, my mind, and my hands to receive the blessing. It is a complete declaration of receptivity, and the Shefa, which is always flowing, finally finds a way to enter. It is not magic, it is spiritual engineering. Why specifically before eating? Many people ask, why can't it be said at any time? Why does it have to be before eating? The answer lies in the Kabbalistic concept of hashpa'ah, spiritual influence. Food is the moment when the spiritual world and the material world meet most closely. You are literally transforming matter into energy. You are putting the world inside you. In this moment of transformation, the barriers between the worlds become thinner. This is what Kabbalists call et ratzon, moment of divine favor. The doors are open. The Shefa is waiting to flow. It just needs a key. And the key is Baruch. The Zohar compares the meal to an audience with the king. When you are received by the king, the first thing you do is bow and say a word of honor. Whoever enters the presence of the king and begins to eat without saying anything is expelled from the audience. This is exactly what happens when we eat without a blessing. We are in the presence of the king, and we ignore it. The wise teach that just as important as blessing before is blessing afterward. This is called Birkat Hamazon, the blessing of the food. It is the gratitude after eating. The Torah says in Deuteronomy, "You shall eat, and you shall be satisfied, and you shall bless the Eternal." First you eat, then you are satisfied, then you bless. It is an explicit divine command. And here is the secret that few know. The blessing before the meal opens the channel. The blessing afterward seals the abundance received. One without the other works only halfway. Together, they create a complete circuit of Shefa. 1. Sit down. Look at the food for 2 seconds in silence. Acknowledge that this food is a gift. 2. Say aloud or whisper, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, which means, Blessed are you, eternal our God, King of the universe. For bread, add, Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, who brings forth bread from the earth. For other foods, add, Shehakol nihiya bidvaro, that everything exists by his word. 3. Take a deep breath once. Feel gratitude in your chest. And then start eating. If you can't memorize everything, just start with Baruch. 1 word, 3 seconds. It already activates the portal. 1. Put down the utensils. Stop for 3 seconds. 2. Say, Baruch atah Adonai, Hazan et hakol. Blessed are you, Eternal, who feeds everyone. 3. Silently visualize, just as my body has been fed, may my account be fed. Just as I am satisfied now, may my financial life be satisfied. Expected result. In 7 days, a feeling of lightness and mental clarity. In 21 days, opportunities begin to arise. In 40 days, visible financial transformation. When you start this practice, you will face 3 types of resistance. The first comes from within. The rational mind saying, "This is ridiculous. A word changes nothing." The second comes from outside. People around you who will notice and ask, "What are you doing?" The third is forgetfulness. You will sit down to eat, take the first bite, and remember, "I forgot to say." Don't blame yourself. Stop. Say it in that moment, and continue. My grandfather Moshe used to say, "Whoever blesses with shame, receives with shame. Whoever blesses with conviction, receives abundantly." Maybe in the first few days you won't notice anything different. That's okay. When a seed is watered on the first day, it doesn't sprout on the second. But underground, the roots are forming. Every Baruch you say is a root deepening in the spiritual soil. And when it sprouts, and it will sprout, the harvest will be proportional to the faith you planted. First, say Baruch before each meal. The complete phrase, or just the word, whatever you can. The important thing is the kavanah, the intention. Second, say the blessing after eating to close the circuit of Shefa. Third, do this for 40 consecutive days without skipping. 3 practices, 0 cost, results in 7 to 40 days. Now I bless you. May the Eternal, Hakadosh Baruch Hu, the Blessed Holy One, bless every meal you make from today. May the food of your body transform into abundance for your life. May every Baruch you say open a source of prosperity that never dries up. May Parnassa find you at the table, at work, on the street, everywhere. May you see the first clear sign of God's hand acting in your finances within 7 days. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the Eternal bless you and keep you. May He shine His face upon you and grant you grace. May He turn His face towards you and give you peace. Ken Yehi Ratzon. So be it. Amen. 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 Now seal everything with 3 actions. Leave a strong like. Each like brings this ancient wisdom to someone who needs it right now. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. There's a new revelation every week. Share with someone you love. Send it to the family group. And leave in the comments, Baruch, from today, I bless my food and my life. We are together on this journey. You will never walk alone again. From today, every meal is a ritual. Every bite is a prayer. Every Baruch is a seed of wealth that you plant in the soil of your life. Gratitude for your presence. Gratitude for your faith. Shalom uvracha. Peace and blessing upon you, upon your table, and upon all who eat with you. Until the next video. And remember, you are already prosperous. You were just eating without realizing it. Now, with each meal, you notice, you bless, you receive. Blessed. Approximate count, 3,000 words.